Our next business item is 9E, the approval of the task order to design the annual pavement improvements for project specification number 24-03.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is, an annual thing that we do. We start off with budgeting the projects for, the coming year. This year's overlay is budgeted at 1.5. And then we, come to you to ask for what we're calling now as a task order or approval of a proposal from Willdan Engineering to design those improvements. I think I've said this before that it's sausage making when we get to this point. We have some resources that we lean on. The primary resource that we lean on is the pavement management system, the study that we put together. We try to get that done every 3 years. The last time that it was officially done and finished was in 2021. Not more than a couple months ago, we took a different route than what we typically do, and we instead of having an outside party come in and evaluate our streets and give us an idea of their relative comparison to each other, taking into consideration certain factors and then putting a scale to it. We did an AI approach where we put on a camera and we drove all the city streets, and then the data that's pulled out of the camera is put in through this AI bot, and it assigns its own really unbiased evaluation of every street. So we just got that the pavement classification index back from the company that did this program. Willdan drove the streets. We borrowed the camera from the company, and then the company takes the camera and they run it through their program, and then they give us this, the information back, the raw data. And then
when was this? When was this driving done?
It was about a couple months ago.
Okay.
I don't.
So it included a lot of the stuff that was already improved.
Oh yes, this
Okay.
is the most yes.
That was where I was headed with that.
Yeah, this is after all of our most
Toro,
recent projects. Yeah. Exactly, Toro's project. That's all. Yeah. What it's not going to take into account of, and it's going to be minor, is certain potholes that we might have filled. We haven't gotten our trailer back, so we haven't made a whole lot of progress on that front. But there has been a few potholes that we've gone out and put some cold mix in as a temporary factor. It probably would skip over that. Anything that's like trenched and then backfilled, it's probably not going to pick up that. We just got the data, and we just got the map back from them today. And so I'm going to be doing a little bit of a walkthrough with you just to give you an idea of what we're looking at it from an engineering perspective, and how we take this data and then put it through our pavement management system, and try to come up with a recommended suite of projects. The proposal that's in front of you today assumes a suite of projects that we had based upon the 2021 PMS. There's a good chance that we'll stick with that suite of projects. In reality, we'll modify it probably a little bit, because of the new data that we've gotten, because it is good and it's current. But anyways, what's in before you today is the proposal for Willdan Engineering, or the task order request for Willdan Engineering to start that process, to start the design process, to figure out which streets we're going to go forward with this year. So the current proposal, based upon that 2021 study, that PMS, looks at the neighborhoods south of the 126 from B Street to Clearwood, the police department parking lot, and the two public parking lots behind, that flank Central Avenue in the downtown business area. And then additional street segments throughout the city, as we, as a team, determine that should move up the ladder and get addressed. This is always a balance, balancing priorities, and I'll walk you through some of those, how we kind of look at things from, a best management perspective when it comes to our streets. And we deploy, a lot of different strategies, in Roxanne. I gotta say that this is a function of the city engineer in almost every city. But Roxanne is particularly good at pavement management. That's her area of expertise, including development. Those are her two strong suits at Willdan Engineering. So we're in good hands with Roxanne's analysis that she'll be getting into with the design team in determining, taking that AI data, chugging it, and determining if the suite of projects that we have from the 2021 should go forward, or how we should modify it based upon the money that we have. So various methods that we use, I'll get into this, and maybe I won't get into talk about it too much right now, but we slurry seals, cape seals, overlay, where we're taking asphalt and putting new, grinding that asphalt down and putting a new top coat on it. There's what I've just described are two different strategies. One is a maintenance perspective, and one is a rehabilitation perspective. So the rehabilitation perspective takes away a lot of our money. Those are very costly projects. Whenever we touch a street, the Department of Justice, State Department, or the Federal Department, Justice Department, requires us to address anything touching the area that we're touching to be ADA compliant. So we get into that, all of our curb ramps that are on street segments that we touch, whether we're doing a maintenance or a rehabilitation, we have to upgrade those. And then we take a look at various things like the curb and gutter, cracks and that, so, we do those repairs at the same time. And then there's a certain amount of trees that are associated with that, with the broken concrete or root balls that might come up through the asphalt. So we'll have some kind of arborist component to all this, and tree pruning recommendations. So the design fee in Willdan's proposal is for an amount not to exceed $68,095. Again, this year's budget has 1.5 set aside for the design, the inspection, and the construction of this year's project. This is covered under the Second Amendment of the Willdan Agreement, so that we had it budgeted specifically for design, inspection, and construction management at $175. So this is already, a budgeted project, but also included in the Willdan Second Amendment. So it's included in their contract already. So no additional funding is needed for this action tonight. So the recommendation is for the City Council to approve Willdan Engineering's task order to design this year's annual street improvement project, as outlined in the attachment. Before you guys decide, I wanted to give you a quick presentation on how we go about this. So there's nothing special here. What this is just walking you through the thought process, and then showing you this picture. This is what, fresh off the press, we got this today. And the team quickly chugged the data to produce this map. And you'll see in there that there's varying, severities to each street segment. From serious, we have about 15 street segments that fall into that category of serious. That's in that brown color. Very poor, we have 68, which is, a pretty high number. and then poor 141. So you can see that we're kind of increasing there, and in a fair condition, 210, and then green. The light green is satisfactory, and green is, or darker green is good. So again, we have this is new to us, so we have our homework to do on, and basically truthing the information in this map. What the important thing I wanted to say about this, it'll get into the other slides. It'll become a little more clear. Is in that light green, in that yellow color. Those are what we look at from a maintenance perspective. So those streets might look great, and like, why are you touching it? It's starting to become, unraveled. Mm-hmm. And if we do a very cheap and affordable treatment on that street, it's not going to fail on us in a couple of years. It's going to live, a couple, 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. So we're extending the life. We're getting caught up on improving our overall PCI, or our index. And then the orange and red are candidates for rehabilitation. That's where we're grinding down the street, and we're putting a new coat on that, a new surface on that street segment. This is what the data looks like when we look at it from a street-by-street perspective. Mm-hmm. So on the top half, it shows that's the, a plane view, and then below it is an aerial view. And you'll see it's kind of doesn't really show up on here, but down here is the area that's being depicted right here on the top part. I guess this is on a timer. So you'll see right here, this is picking up an area that we had dug out for like a water service and put the coal mix patch on it. There's a difference in that it's not as smooth, so it picks it up. And then you got an area that's depicted right here as alligator cracking, and then you got some this
longitudinal.
Yeah, these are just like these are cracked.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what is it? It's hard for me to determine which color. Yeah, something like this. Oh, so I don't know. It's something like that.
I think it's the red one up top.
Yeah. And then what you'll see the most of is this block cracking. Mm. So this is something that, Roxanne would consider when she is coming up with her suite of recommendations is this a street that rises to and the other thing, the other big factor is utilization. Where does it fit?
Yeah, that's right.
Is it
busy or?
Yes. Yeah. Is it an arterial? Mm-hmm. Is it a feeder? Is it a residential?
Right.
So those are all factors that are taken into consideration. Mm-hmm. So maintenance versus rehabilitation, the difference, between those two, you'll see maintenance is it looks like a brand new asphalt street, but it's not. There's differences. The design is new wearable surface. It extends the life of the roadway. It does not fix the roadway surface or rideability. These are applied between rehabilitation, phases of that segment, and extends the need to perform rehabilitation. And then rehabilitation is resurfacing, resulting in a smooth and new street surface. This is typically an overlay project where there's that grinding off of that street segment. Various maintenance strategies, like I was indicating earlier, we have slurry coats and cape seals, and I have a picture of each of those coming up. But it's just a very thin, sprayed on typically layer. And then sometimes, especially for the crack seal, we'll come back in with a top coat on top of it, or some, like a rocky material. And then rehabilitation falls into that overlay. You're typically looking at a 1.5 to 2 inch over the existing. And then when we get into that kind of stuff, we look at how far down do we need to grind. Is the crown of the street so high that we need to shave off the crown in the center part, because when we grind in the gutters, we're grinding about 2 inches below that gutter lip. So that creates a little crown over time. So many rehabilitation strategies is going to result in a really, concaving type of surface. So we would have to do a full depth grind and take down that crown. So again, this is a good picture, a slide to show you the maintenance benefits versus the rehabilitation. You're bumping that PCI up to 100, and that's like a perfect street, where maintenance just gives you a small little bit increase. But the real rub here is the cost. You can see the cost of an overlay, the rehabilitation strategy is much more than a maintenance strategy. And this is a typical road section. Different layers, it could be a slurry or a cape seal on top, an overlay. We might do a combination, some of the serious streets, the brown colored streets, we would do like a 3-layered strategy, something like this, where we do an overlay and then, we did a similar strategy out here in front of City Hall. That was pretty bad. And on Village Square, that had a 3-layer strategy to it. So these are various maintenance treatments. And then this is what an overlay is getting us. We grind down the existing surface, and then we put a new coat, a new thick 1.5 to 2 inch thick asphalt over the grinded down surface. So that kind of, it's probably stuff you already knew, but it's kind of good for the public to know it's not as easy as just saying, hey, my street's bad.
Right.
Right.
If we overlaid all of our streets, we'd get nowhere.
Right.
Our pavement, our average index would go in the toilet. So we come up with various strategies to keep our index high, and that's just those simple maintenance, cost beneficial, maintenance strategies that we apply with an overlay strategy.
Joe, can you make that map available for us to publish, or can we publish it on the web page or something? Because I'm getting a lot of questions from constituents about, hey, when is my street going to be done? What's the city looking at when is this going to happen? Kind of questions, and I think a lot of this information would help kind of answer constituent questions.
We've hesitated on posting it in the past because it could give a false perspective on things. It's not an easy thing to, for the general public just to look at and say,
oh, I'm next. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right. Yeah, indicated by color.
I'm going to be next. Right.
So what the city engineer and I will do is we'll think about what we can give as something that's, a better indication of time and condition.
I mean, if I may, we could also snip the video similar to what we did for previous presentations, and post that as part of, educational material for the constituents to have that available. I think we did that for the presentation Deborah did for the sewer. And I don't recall what the other one was, street vendors too, so we can do the same for this situation.
That'd be great.
I'll snip it and then we'll just share it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it'd be a helpful little video, but it would include the slide with that. And then also, I think it's neat to see a couple of the illustrations of what slurry is compared to a total grind and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think it's important too to mention what you did, which was, hey, just because the color of the street isn't going to tell you what the priority is, it's also calculation of, hey, how busy is the street? What's the usage on it, right?
Right.
Is it a feeder? Is it a main artery?
The classification, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I mean, I was just gonna say, give us a couple months to go through that AI data, bring it into a PMS, a pavement management strategies document. It's something that's user-friendly.
Okay.
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, your
Great stuff,
presentation, it's so simple. I mean, I'm engaged. I'm leaning forward, looking at the screen like I'm, watching a movie. Anyway, but refresh my memory. I thought we did have at some point in time a priority list of homes or streets that were being done that was made available to the public. Am I just recreating it in my mind?
I'm not aware of,
Not aware either.
this did come up in the past, in the last, I would say 5 years ago. And we hesitated on posting something at that point. Maybe I could talk to Roxanne to see what she may have posted.
I don't know, Carrie, that it was like a priority list of streets. I think it's just when it comes time for us to have the contract of doing it, we list, okay,
Correct.
this year,
Yeah,
we're
we
having,
definitely
the
do that.
contract is going to do these dozen streets.
Was the PMI ever published as part of one of the staff reports? I don't recall. I would have to do the research, but maybe that's what you're referencing
Yeah,
to?
it's not worth it, I think, your time to have to
Okay.
do research on it, but I'm just, and Albert's agreeing with me.
I think we may have included the report in, now that I'm thinking about it, right, Albert? Is that,
Yes, I think those projects were completed.
okay,
Right.
Projects on there were completed.
Right.
for sure.
And there was never a new list that was provided.
Which is why now we're taking this different approach.
Yeah. But I would like, for my own benefit, to have a copy of your PowerPoint, if that's possible.
Sure.
So I can reanalyze it when I get home and share it with my husband.
Sure.
Likewise, I would like a copy of that too, please.
Yeah, you got it.
That'd be great. Joe, I did have a question. On the ones that, I think there was the black, they were not scored.
Yes.
Why is that?
There's a couple of segments in there that we got to look at. I mean, again, we just got this today.
Okay. Oh.
So that
Got it.
that stood out to me. So a few of those areas are very explainable. They're gated communities. The responsibility of the streets are not on the city.
I see, right.
But there's a few in there that should be, those are the city's responsibility. So there might have been a failure in the camera that didn't produce data that caused it to be a blacked out street. So I've talked about this with Roxanne. She and I plan on going out, taking a look at those blacked out streets and giving our own index to it.
Okay,
So
great.
do a manual evaluation, and we'll tease
Wonderful.
it back into the data set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my only input in that is there was a part that was blacked out. That's definitely the high usage there at 126 and B Street.
It's in
I
there.
always bring up the 7-Eleven corner
No,
there.
it's definitely in there. Roxanne
Okay.
and I have talked about it. That one, I had, last time this came up, I indicated it wasn't something that we can just easily add into
Right.
the existing contract because Caltrans permitting is necessary, and a couple of other things that we need to consider, like the traffic loop being so close to it.
Sure.
But it is in this. We
Yeah.
talked about it.
Great.
Roxanne did not forget.
That's
And I
okay.
got to mention, these slides are great. These are from Roxanne's desk, so I must give credit where credit is due.
All right, thank you. All right, if there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that the city council approve Wildan Engineering's proposal to design the annual street improvement project, specification number 25-03, project as detailed in the attached design task order.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Oh,
Second.
2403, sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Do I have a second?
Yeah, second?
Oh, yes. Okay, thank you. All those in favor say aye.